Hello everyone, taking a quick break here from work on the land here. I believe today is day 6 of clearing the property, starting with the driveway and then coming back here to the house site, clearing trees, clearing rocks, clearing roots. And so today I was walking in and I saw a really large dead snake on the ground, and that's not something you see every day. So I knew something special was in store, and we don't really get to see many snakes around here. So even though this one was dead, it was nice to see the life that's here. So anyway, I'd like to share with you the process and a little bit of almost like a sermon that was coming through during the work. So during this process, there's been a lot of times where I just wanted to give up, where it's like I'm questioning, am I crazy for trying to do this myself? And am I really doing anything? Am I just like a kid playing in the sandbox until the big boys come and actually do the work? And when I surrender into that and breathe into it, the answer becomes clear that no, this is the process, and it's here for me, and it's here to enjoy. And in the process, a lot of teachings come through. And so in clearing this land, it started with a bunch of trees that needed to be cut. And so that was like layer one. And then the trees come down and it starts to create space. And so after the trees come down, then all this brush has to be cleared. And a little bit more space is created. Then we start getting into cutting stumps and raking, and there's so many rocks on this property, and clearing the rocks. And layer by layer, it starts to get easier. At first, the rake, you can't even pull it half a meter without getting stuck on some kind of root, and you pull that root out and you start following it. Some of these roots are amazing, where who knows how long they go, but you start pulling and it just follows like a zipper, and next thing you know, your neighbor's calling you like, are you pulling on a root? And their house is shaking. So um, this process really parallels the spiritual path and the healing path. And as we start going inside and learning about ourselves, initially we have to clear the big stuff, the trees, and that gives us some space to kind of see what's there. And we keep chipping away, and it may seem a little futile and like we're not making any progress. And something inside of you just tells you to keep on going. And so you start pulling on these roots and some of these stumps that feel like, oh, they're not coming out. And then after you pull some other roots, now all of a sudden this like little stump starts coming loose, and then you're tossing rocks, and little by little this foundation starts to emerge, and it's a foundation worthy of building a temple on. And so that's what I'm doing here externally as I go through the process of building a home for my family. And that's also what I and we collectively as humanity are doing when we do our internal work and our healing. And these roots, these rocks, these snags that we get caught up on, what are these things? These are our traumas. These are our conditioning, our cultural conditioning, our family conditioning. These are learned behaviors. These are limiting beliefs. These are all things that initially we may feel that we've been saddled with, and we create stories about how unfair life has been, and oh, if I only was born into this family, if I only had money, if I only had this, if only this didn't happen to me, if only this did happen to me. And then we start to realize that these are all gifts, and they're given to us for us. And when we start taking responsibility and sort of seeing the bigger picture of what we're doing, that as we work on ourselves as individuals, we're contributing to the collective consciousness. And it's the collective consciousness, it's one of the things that shapes the world around us. And so some of us may look at the news and look at the world and say it's all going to hell in a handbasket and it's a shit show and it's this and it's that. But this is simply a reflection of the collective. And we are all part of that collective, as much as we may want to distance ourselves and say that that out there is not us. We are all one collective consciousness, whether we realize it or not. And so as we work on our own consciousness and we pull our roots and pull our rocks and create space inside of us, it creates space around us, it creates a field that can invite others into. And this is deep presence. And it's this presence that invites in spirit. When we stop the mind, we stop thinking, we put aside our stories, we put aside our beliefs, we put aside our opinions, our traumas, our conditioning, our reaction. That space is what allows spirit to come through. And I find this happening in my process here while I'm working. I'm doing the work as karma yoga. That's basically doing your work without attachment to outcome. In some way, I have a small attachment to the outcome. I want to get this house built, but through the process, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this all by myself. I suspect I can, and I do believe that, but I'm letting go of that outcome. And so I know that the work in front of me is, okay, I have to pull this root, I have to pull this stump, I have to level this ground out. And whether it's 10 guys here working on the property or one, it's the same work. And so what takes 10 guys one day, okay, it'll take me one person 10 days, maybe 11 or 12, but I'm already on day 6. So it's like 6 guys have been working here for a day. So as I'm doing this work, I'm silent. I don't have music playing. I don't have a podcast playing. I'm just silent. And it creates a lot of space and peace inside of me. And then this voice that is not mine starts coming through, and I receive it as the voice of spirit, and these beautiful teachings come through. That's what inspired me to share this right now. I felt like this teaching was not just for me. If it's for me, it's for all of us, or forever, for whoever needs to hear it. And so as I'm going through this process, sometimes I'm on my hands and knees, and it's helping me to kind of see the ground a little bit. A voice popped into my head, and it said something to the effect of, lift a stone and you will find me, split a piece of wood and I am there. I'm like, someone said that once. I think it was some new age long-haired hippie with a really good sense of humor. And so anyway, as that voice came in, lift a stone and I am there, found this. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, who knows what kind of ancient seashell this was. Like, we're in the middle of the jungle and I'm constantly finding seashells all over the place. And so in the stillness, in the space, he is there. Excuse me, he, she, creator, God, goddess, spirit is there. So I'm going to continue on my work. I just felt the call to share a little sermon on the stump, and things are coming along here.